'Cause no one's gonna love me like you do. You do, yeah. Oh, that is spicy. Oh. Can I get some water? Woo! These are spicy, but I love them. Okay. Fact. The majority of our lives is built around words. I mean, just think about how many words you use each and every day. Some of them are words said out loud, like when you greet someone in the hallway, or you talk with friends at the lunch table, or you share your conversation with your mom before bed. And then some of them are words that aren't spoken, like words typed in a text message, or if you read it in a book, or words that are posted on social media. Sometimes they're thoughts in your head, or words communicated through American Sign Language, like, I'm hungry. Words help us connect to other people. And I think that makes them pretty powerful. Now, what's cool about words is that we have a lot of freedom when it comes to them. For better or for worse, we have a choice. We can choose to use any words that we want whenever we want. If we want to give a compliment, we can choose to use kind words. If we want to make someone laugh, we can choose funny words. If we want to make somebody mad, we can choose the words that will upset them. Of course, there may be consequences for some of the words we choose to use. When we call someone a name, or tell a dirty joke, or make fun of somebody who's different, or even drop a cuss word into a conversation, we might get into some trouble or hurt somebody's feelings. But at the end of the day, we still have the choice to use those words or not. We still have freedom when it comes to our words. Now, I don't know about you, but that makes me wonder this. Am I using my freedom in the best way when it comes to my words? Now, here's why I think this whole conversation about words is so tricky. Because if we're honest, most of us are probably thinking something like this. Is this really that big of a deal? And we all get that there are good words and there are bad words. We know there are certain things we're just not supposed to say. But what's a bad word to one person might not be that bad to somebody else. So really, who's to say whether or not we cuss or tell dirty jokes? Is it really that big of a deal to yell names at somebody we're mad at, or sing along with song lyrics that might be offensive to somebody? I mean, if I think the words I'm saying are okay, then it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks, right? Again, I know this is tricky, because honestly, all of us struggle with our words in one way or another. There are all kinds of reasons for why we use our words the way we do. Maybe we hear our family say them at home, so we repeat them ourselves. If the adults in our lives are talking like that, why can't we? Or maybe we use certain words because we want to fit in. Everyone else is saying them, and we think saying them ourselves will help us be accepted and included. Or maybe we think it's okay to use certain words because they make people laugh. I mean, can't we just say, I'm just kidding, after whatever we say, and that makes it all okay, right? Or maybe we use certain words, but we don't really know what they mean. We say them because we hear them, but if we're honest, we don't really know what it is that we're saying. Or maybe we think it's okay to say certain words because we've heard people at church say them. And if they can say those words, why can't we? Well, here's what I would say to all of that. I think we're focusing on the wrong things. See, it's not really the words themselves that are the biggest problem. I think it's the way we use those words that gives them power. To show you what I mean, I've called 4 friends and asked them each to read a sentence for us. Same sentence.
I don't think she should get that grade.
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 Isn't that crazy? They all read the same exact sentence. Now, you'd think that sentence would have the same meaning no matter how they said it, right? But as they emphasized a different word, the meaning of the sentence changed entirely. The power wasn't necessarily in the actual words they said, it was the way they said them. The way you use your words changed the entire sentence. See, the way we use our words is super important. We have so much power when it comes to our words. That name you called your sister last night, maybe it's not that bad a word, but you knew it would really hurt her feelings. So you used it on purpose to do just that. Or maybe a joke you told someone in your class seemed okay, but when they got upset about it afterwards, you realized it wasn't okay. Maybe that cuss word you shouted at the opposing team, or the song lyric you quoted on your Instagram, or the nickname you gave that new guy at school don't seem all that bad on their own, but when someone heard you say it or saw you post it, you suddenly felt embarrassed. That's because you realized the words have power. They have the potential to harm or to hurt or to offend somebody else. Knowing our words have power means we recognize the impact they can have on both others and ourselves. The words we use can hurt someone else, Even if they don't tell you, or even if you don't mean to, someone could be hurt or offended by the words you say. And when you say something without thinking or even meaning it, you're allowing people to have an opinion about who you are. They're forming what they think about you based on the words they hear you say. See what I mean? Our words actually do have a lot of power. And that's why we need to think about what we say and why we say it. Well, thankfully, we can find some help on understanding the power of our words in the Bible. We're gonna take a look at a book called James. It was written by, yes, a guy named James. And what's interesting about James is that he was actually Jesus' half-brother. That means he got an up close and personal look at the way Jesus himself lived his life. So when James wrote about the power of our words, I think we can trust his judgment. Here is what he had to say. In the same way, the tongue is a small thing that makes grand speeches, but a tiny spark can set a great forest on fire. And among all the parts of the body, the tongue is a flame of fire. It is a whole world of wickedness, corrupting your entire body. It can set your whole life on fire, for it is set on fire by hell itself. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's a little dramatic, right? Well, think about the power of words here. Everybody has an opinion about the words we say. So in order to really get his point across, James chose really dramatic language and really harsh words that would get our attention. And honestly, it worked. Words like fire and wickedness and hell itself really have me listening. And if you're anything like me, those words may make you a little uncomfortable. Some of you may even feel that the word hell is a cuss word. I think it's safe to say that James was pretty serious about the words he used here. So what exactly is his point? Well, I think James wanted us to know just how powerful our words really are. Now, we all know that the tongue is a tiny part of the human body. This is weird, but I actually have kind of a like replica tongue here. You know, it's like, I don't know. It looks really real. Like, look at this. Isn't that gross? Terrible. Now, it may not be a body part we think a whole lot about. I mean, it's kind of gross and it's weird looking, but from that small, strange looking part of who we are can come a lot of destruction. Even the smallest spark, the smallest word, has the potential to start a fire so big and bad that it takes over our whole lives. With just one word, we have the ability to bring destruction and devastation. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the damage a fire can cause. I actually used to be a firefighter myself, so I've seen it. You can imagine probably how big and bad and terrible it is. I've seen fires reduce even the strongest structures and the most beautiful landscapes to nothing but ash and rubble. And a lot of times, that destruction causes permanent damage that we can't undo. You know what this reminds me of? Toothpaste. Well, actually, something my youth pastor showed us when I was in my youth ministry. Now, I know this is a bit of a mouth-themed conversation between the toothpaste and the tongues, but just stay with me. Now, this toothpaste, super happy in its tube. Look at the happy little toothpaste. It's just waiting to be used when we need to brush our teeth, right? And when we use toothpaste in the right way, it's super helpful and good for us. But what about when you don't use it in the way it's meant to be used and like you get all crazy and careless with it, right? Like it can be a huge mess. I mean, look at this. Toothpaste everywhere. We'll just keep on going. And it isn't helpful to anybody at that point. So we can fix it. Let's just put it back in the tube. We can get it in there and maybe just, maybe if I take the brush and try to stick that in there and I could just, I don't know, return the paste back to how it was before, right? Happy, it's helpful. Honestly, getting the toothpaste back into the tube, it's impossible, right? No matter how hard I try, I can't get it back how it once was. So what's my point? Well, this tube of toothpaste is just like our words. When they haven't been spoken, they have the potential to do a lot of good. Like when the little bit of toothpaste was placed on the toothbrush. But when our words come out with anger or with frustration or without thinking, well then it's just like this mess of toothpaste all over the place. The paste came out, but it can't be put back in. When hurtful and mean and disrespectful words come out of our mouths, they can create harm and hurt that's permanent. Just like the toothpaste, once the words leave our mouths, we can't take them back. Our words matter. The lies we tell, the names we call, the jokes we make, the insults we sling, the lyrics we repeat. Just like James told us, if we're not careful, all these words can turn our relationships, our reputations, our families, and our futures into nothing but ash and rubble. Like the toothpaste, these words will leave a mess that can't be fixed. That's why we have to be less careless with our words. We have to be more careful. We have to pay attention to the power of our words. Now, how do we do that? Well, look back one more time at some wisdom from the Bible with me. In the book of Psalms, we find a lot of prayers and songs written by a guy named King David. And this prayer specifically is one we can use for ourselves when it comes to our words. Take control of what I say, O Lord, and guard my lips. So if we know our words have power, then we have to ask God for help in using our words well. We have to work on guarding our tongues and mouths so that the words that come out of them aren't words that start fires, words that turn the things and people we care about into ash and rubble. We have to work on controlling our words. Listen, I'm not asking you to change everything you say right here and right now. I'm not even gonna sit here and tell you what you can and can't say. But what I'm asking you to do is take some steps to help you pay attention to the power of your words this week. First, think about your last words. Look at your last 10 text messages, or the last few comments you left on social media, or the last few songs you listened to, or even the last several things you said to your close friends or family. Then ask yourself, what's the power in these words? Are they bringing on destruction? Are they bringing on ash and rubble? Are they hurtful? Would you be embarrassed if I showed them to everyone in the room right now? If the answer to any of that is yes, then you need to pause. You need to ask God for forgiveness and help in guarding your words more wisely going forward. Maybe you even need to ask for forgiveness from the person you said the words to. Part of paying attention to the power of our words means recognizing when we're using them in ways that are hurtful to other people. So start there. Then take a step to make a change. How can you better control the words coming from your mouth so that you don't leave behind ash and rubble? Maybe for you that means thinking before you speak. A simple 10-second pause, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, before your words come out of your mouth can give you time to think about the impact of what you're about to say. Maybe for you that means not saying something you know is wrong, no matter who's around. Now sure, you can drop that cuss word when your parents aren't listening, or you can call that girl that name when she's blocked on social. You can even make that joke you know is inappropriate. You may have the freedom to say any of that, but controlling your words means using your freedom to not say it at all, regardless of who will or won't hear it. Maybe it means choosing to replace your old words with new, better words that build people up. Maybe start by taking time to pray as David did in the psalm we looked at today. Ask God to help guard your mouth and control your words so the impact will be for good. Ask Him to help you pay attention to the power of your words. Paying attention to the power of your words is something that takes time and practice. It doesn't just happen overnight. That's one of the reasons that we have groups. Your group can help you notice when the words you say cause destruction or hurt, and they can help remind you to pause, replace your words with new positive ones, and to pray that you can use the power of your words for good. Now, as you head to your group today, I want you to think about this question. In what ways can I use my words for good?
One more step, one more exhale, as I fall where you lead. Feel my heart as it's racing down the path you set for me. When the road feels unending, there's a promise you reveal. When these days leave me empty, you sustain me even still. With every breath, you are reviving these burning lungs. You keep me going when I can't run. God be my strength till the work is done. did he face me? Whatever comes, count me in, count me in. Oh, even when my legs are weary, I'm not gonna give up that easy. Whatever comes, count me